Two stable concepts have been formed in Ukrainian society. According to the first, Ukraine should set a course on complete political, economic, and cultural isolation from Russia. At the same time, within the country, it is necessary to eradicate any manifestations of anything Russian, including historical monument, religion, communication, and language. According to the second concept, Ukraine cannot and should not break relations with Russia, and the Russian-speaking population should have equal rights to preserve their customs, religion, and culture. Viktor Medvedchuk became an expression of this second concept. Since 2018, he has been one of the leaders of the For Life opposition bloc. The party represents the interests of the Russian-speaking population of Ukraine.
Opposition Platform for Life is a political party in Ukraine founded in December 2018 with the aim to contest together the 2019 Ukrainian presidential election and then the 2019 Ukrainian parliamentary election. The government and our opponents call it pro-Russian, but it is incorrect. It is incorrect because people who live and who want to be friends with Russia, who are against the policy that the authorities profess in the form of radical Russophobia and anti-Russian hysteria, and want normal relations with our neighbors. People who stand for the values that, unfortunately, in recent years have disappeared.
The solution, although it probably is impossible to get, would be to split Ukraine into West and East.
A de facto division has always existed. When we talk about the West and East in the 90s, we proceeded from the fact that there is a split in Ukraine. It threatens to break up the country. Unfortunately, the process of disintegration has begun. The question is why? The fact is that Ukraine, with its current borders, is a territorial association. If we analyze the history of the last 10 centuries, then the territory of Ukraine was the territory of various regional associations. Since the 10th, 11th century, it was Kievan Rus, then the Golden Horde, then the Great Lithuanian Principality, which occupied most of today's territory of Ukraine. Then the Crimean Khaganate, the Kingdom of Hungary, Kingdom of Poland, the Ottoman Empire, the Austro-Hungarian Empire, the Russian Empire. And all these territorial associations created their own culture here, implanted their faith, and recognized certain historical facts. When you underline the fact, which I oppose, underline the fact that this would be more of a Lithuanian principality, the Austro-Hungarian Empire, and it was the Russian Empire. Therefore, there is a different faith, a different history, and different languages. The mistake of the current government, it tries to build a single identity out of this whole country, where they speak different languages, where they practice different religions, where they have different assessments of historical facts, builds this identity on an identity close only to the part of the people, the population, that part. This is a mistake that leads to nowhere. This is the biggest strategic mistake made by the authorities in Kiev today, because this identity will never establish itself throughout Ukraine.
I know you've said Russia and Ukraine are two different countries that are united by history and by tradition.
Both countries and people.
And you made the point that you're two nations. Explain what you're thinking.
These are two distinct nations, proceeding from today and for the last 200 to 300 years. There is the Russian nation, there is the Ukrainian nation. But these are close nations. These are Slavic Orthodox peoples. This is the basis of civilization characteristics, community of Russia and Ukraine. If, in general, we compare Ukraine and Russia, this is one thing. If we compare with the western part of Ukraine, then this is a completely different thing.
Imposing this position here, the influence on the position of the whole country, is a mistake. We must understand that no matter how life develops further, I believe in it and firmly believe that we will still be neighbors. And most importantly, it should be so.
Yeah, I understand. Mr. Putin may not agree completely. He feels that Ukraine is really a part of Russia, historically. Very close, very close.
Я, например, считаю, что русские и украинцы – это вообще один народ.
One people, two nations.
Ну, по сути, это одна нация.
You think it's one nation?
Ну, конечно. Вот смотрите, ведь когда вот эти земли, которые являются ядром Украины, присоединялись к России, это всего 3 области было. Киев, Киевская область, Северная область и Южная. Никто не считал себя чем-то другим, кроме как русским. Потому что в основе лежала что? Религиозная принадлежность. Это отношение... все были православные. И считали, и называли себя русскими. И они не хотели быть частью католического мира, куда их подтаскивала Польша. Значит, я прекрасно отдаю себе отчет в том, что со временем вот эта идентичность этой части России, она как-то определилась, и люди имеют на это право. Это позднее начало использоваться для раскачки самой Российской империи. Но в основе своей истории и по той же религии огромного количества связей, причем родственных связей близких. Это, по сути, один народ. По традициям. Очень много. При этом, если часть людей, которые проживают, значительная часть в Украине сегодня считают, что они должны бороться подчеркивать свою идентичность, бороться за это. У нас в России никто против этого ничего не имеет. Я тоже. Но просто мы, имея в виду, что у нас много общего, мы можем использовать это как конкурентные преимущества при определенных интеграционных процессах. Это совершенно очевидный факт. Но сегодняшние власти этого явно не хотят. Но я думаю, что здравый смысл, он восторжествует в конце. И в конечном итоге все-таки мы придем к состоянию, о котором я сказал. Сближение неизбежно. Сближение неизбежно.
Indeed, Mr. Putin said that they were not 2 nations, but one. I had long discussions with him about this. I think that he is inclined to my point of view. When I raise arguments, these are really 2 nations. He never said that this is one country. It used to be one country and was called the USSR. But this country does not exist. Today, there is an independent Russian Federation, an independent Ukraine, and other former republics of the Soviet Union.